Alright, hi guys, I know I'm not there with you, but this is the next best option for getting you notes that you need for class this week. And so we are talking a little bit about lab safety as we finish out this semester and get ready for next semester, because you will be in the lab a little bit more doing some fun activities, and we'll actually do some labs next week when I get back. And so that's something to kind of look forward to. But before we can start labs, it's really important to talk about lab safety. And so this will be something that will be ingrained in your brain from here on out. Safety is an attitude, and making sure, I know at times that it's going to be like, oh, Miss Collins, this is ridiculous. We don't need to be wearing safety glasses. But getting in the habit and the attitude of always being safe in the shop will help us throughout your years in high school. And so first of all, what is safety? It's just being free from accidents. It's a personal responsibility. It's on you to be a safe person. Obviously, some people are more of a risk taker than others, but when you're in the shop with me or with Miss Baker, you're going to follow all the safety rules, or you're going to lose the privilege of being able to go out and do activities. And so safety is really important as far as respecting yourself, respecting your classmates, and also the property. So we get all these cool new things. We've gotten a lot of new equipment over the past few years in our lab, and so we want to make sure we keep that in good condition. So talking about this attitude of safety, first of all, it's important to have a positive attitude, willing to be a safe person and wear the proper protective equipment, but also willing to figure out new things and say oh, I can't wait to try this today. I know some days are better than others in terms of everything in life, but having a positive attitude definitely helps. Also willing to try new things. It's okay if you fail. Sometimes I tell people you learn more when things don't go your way right away. And so be willing to try new things. And if it doesn't go okay, learn from it and figure out what to do differently. The next one is really important. And you will hear me preach this over and over again, but it's really important that you read and follow all procedures. When we do these labs, you've heard me talk about CASE, and I really, really am a big fan of it. It tells you step by step what you need to do. And this is going to be really important for the activity that you guys are doing in class on Friday. It is vital that you read the directions step by step, or you are going to have a problem when we do this lab on Monday and Tuesday. So please read all the instructions. And sometimes in the lab, I'm going to be I'm not giving you the answer until you tell me exactly what the instructions say. Because more often than not, you say, hey, Miss Collins, I don't know what's going on. And I'm going to be like, did you read? And you're going to say, nope. I say, well, read the instructions. So please read. Also, it's really important that you clean up according to the instructions. Sometimes we're going to be working with things that can't be dumped down the drain or that need to be disposed of in a certain container. And so make sure you follow those instructions, and then also take care of yourself, others, and the property that you are around and using. So personal protective equipment is super important when talking about safety. And this is equipment that's designed to protect you from injury or illness. Common things that we'll use in the lab are safety glasses, lab aprons, and then also disposable gloves. And so those are all things that could be used when working with chemicals. We might be working with heat a few times, and so we'll have heat pads or those kinds of things, or I will do it so that we won't risk anybody getting burnt. Then also just moving mechanisms, so it's important to have the right personal protective equipment. And then we'll also be working a little bit with hazardous material, and hazardous in the sense that it could cause harm. We won't be working with anything crazy, or if we do, you'll get detailed instructions on how to use it. But we will work with glass, so beakers, graduated cylinders, test tubes, those kinds of things. So it's important that you handle with care, and also never touch broken glass. If a beaker or something breaks, you let me know about it, I will worry about disposing it and cleaning it up, and then everyone's going to stay away from that area. So don't touch broken glass. We'll also be working with some chemicals so make sure you're only mixing them as directed. And I say that because if you try to do something that's not in the instructions, you are going to run the risk of losing your lab privileges. So again, following instructions is really important. There could be a few instances where we actually do some things with fire. And so again, keeping like hair and clothing pulled back so it's not in the way or could catch on fire is important. And then finally, and this will be the case in any ag class that you take where you're using tools, and all these are for that matter, but make sure you're using them for their intended purpose and not for something else or goofing around. Then, like we all know accidents happen just like anywhere, but if you have a spill or a breakage, it needs to be told to me or Miss Baker, whoever's your instructor, or whoever's around right away, making sure you're cleaning up equipment and workspace properly. So cleanup at the end of the day will be really important. Again, following those instructions, making sure your work area is clean, and then don't attempt to dispose anything without instruction. And so making sure you follow those intended instructions the correct way when we are cleaning up and disposing of things. So this gets covered a lot in ag mechanics, but kind of grazing over the idea of safety colors. I will warn you, our shop is not safety color coded like it should be. It's something that we've talked about, but we just keep moving things around. And so until we figure out exactly where things are going to go and stay, we haven't done it. But safety colors are used a lot, especially in big businesses like Cat and John Deere. Anywhere that has to be like OSHA approved, which is safety and health things for businesses. But they are used as indicators to reduce the need for words. And so they kind of say like, oh, hey, this means this. And so we don't have to have a sign. You can just tell by the color. And so each color or combination conveys a specific message. And messages these colors can convey could be alerting people to danger or hazards, helping you locate certain things, or helping you react quickly to emergencies. So here are some of the safety colors. Red is the first one, and that means danger. So things such as safety switches or fire equipment. So if you think about the fire extinguisher, the fire alarms, they're all red, saying danger. The next one's orange, so this is saying warnings to hazards like sharp edges or openings. You'll see these sometimes on saws. You guys won't use any of the saws this year, but that is a possibility. Kind of the same thing with yellow, just saying like caution, like, move slowly around those things. Look before you do it. Moving parts of machinery can sometimes have that. Blue is used for conveying information, and so it might be on like a restroom sign or a break room sign or things like that, but something that you're trying to convey information about. If you think about like driving down the highway, rest areas, or like calling 911, sometimes they have like blue signs. Then some others is green, which is used to indicate the presence of safety equipment. So some places, like their safety glasses cabinet is green, or their first aid kit might be green, trying to tell you where that safety equipment is. White is usually traffic markings, so kind of telling you where traffic should flow around certain pieces of equipment, or where people should walk and shouldn't walk, that kind of thing. And then white and black stripes, this is used for traffic to stop before entering a white zone. So this is just saying like, hey, stop where you're at, kind of check things out, and then you can continue. And then gray just indicates like you're in a work area. So a lot of times you'll see gray on floors, cabinets, because you're saying like, okay, you're in a workspace. So some major safety concerns in any kind of shop instance or lab instance that hopefully we don't have to worry about, but could be a possibility, is fire. So presence of flammable and combustible materials. We have some kind of heat sources. We could potentially do a few labs that might have to do with heat and fire if we get to certain points in the curriculum. I can't guarantee that, but there's a potential for it. Also electrocution, if we do high voltage, goodness, I can't talk, high voltage equipment, again, won't probably happen in this class, but just in life in general, that's always a safety concern. And then bodily injury, so crushing, smashing, pinching, scratches, abrasions, any of that are things that we should worry about. We're going to skip the fire triangle thing because it's not super important in the coming few weeks. And so that's going to be kind of where we wrap it up. So just a quick, I can't even talk, you guys, I'm sorry. Quick overview on some of the basics of safety. You're going to do some different activities this week to kind of prep you for lab safety stuff. And then, as I said, Friday you're going to start an activity that we're going to continue on Monday and Tuesday. That'll be in the lab, and then we're going to do a few other labs next week. And so get excited for that. I am. Kind of a fun way to wrap up the semester. And so if you have any questions or anything this week as I'm gone, I know it's not ideal, please feel free to email me with anything that you might need. Have a great week.